Welcome to Explore the Opportunities with AI, the ELA podcast, where we dive deep into the boundless world of AI, where each episode explores the incredible opportunities AI brings to different industries, from tech giants to startup ventures. Today, I'm beyond excited to have Jeff Wang, head of business from Codium, as our kickoff guest. So Jeff and I connected through an AI startup group. It's been a year, and I've gotten to know Jeff. He's an incredible human being, so successful yet incredibly humble, as everyone in the group described him. So, hi, Jeff. Thanks for joining us today on the EOA podcast. Before we begin, can you please share a little bit about yourself and your journey to becoming the head of business at Codium?
Yeah, first of all, thanks for having me on the show. The journey of Codium is kind of interesting. I was doing a bunch of startups in a row. Previously, I was in some big companies like Cisco and Salesforce, and kind of caught the startup bug. I just wanted to be more hands-on and more fast-paced environment. And obviously, when AI started to become more popular, this is like before ChatGPT,
Mm-hmm.
like with like image creation and generation. That's what really started to get me excited into AI, and I just knew I had to join some AI startup out there. And then when I stumbled upon Codium, they were all engineers. They were looking for their first business hire, and I actually played with the product, and I actually found some interesting stats about that they're just giving it away for free, and
Mm-hmm.
I think like almost half the people that touch it continue using it forever, pretty much. And that's a great stat to know because you know that you have product market fit, and it wasn't any revenue yet, but I honestly didn't even think about any risk. I was like, this team is so amazing, and this product is actually really great. I think I'll
Aw.
just join and go along for the ride. And then since then, it's become actually revenue generating, quite quickly growing in revenue, I should add. And we're talking to some of the biggest companies in the world, and they're talking to some of the highest level of executives in these companies too. So
Mhm,
coming from like a free product to actually going out there, building a sales team, go to market, and meeting all these customers of ours has been an exhilarating ride, and it's been quite a year, I have to say. And I think to the point of like raising the money, I think like we don't even think about that stuff. We just
mhm,
think about how do you build the best product and how do you build something that works for the customer and something that they want to buy from you, right? I think that's the key.
uh-huh. Oh, wow. So, like, if somebody who wanted to get into a co-pilot or a coding assistant at Codium, like, how can one sign up and what the possibilities that they can use with Codium?
Yeah, I mean, you just go to codium.com. That's with an E, Codeium. There is
Mhm.
actually another one that doesn't have it. And then anybody can install it for free and install it on their wherever they code, right? They just find the plugin for Codium and install it.
Okay.
If there's obviously a free tier where everybody can just try it out.
Mhm,
Then there's also the enterprise tier where you can either deploy it on an instance internally, or you
mhm.
can sign up to have like your own team and even track analytics and see how everybody how much value you're getting from the tool, which I think is missing from a lot of AI tooling out there. It's like a lot of AI products are being released, but nobody knows the ROI, and we're very
Mhm.
very like we think the ROI is very important for the customers that purchase anything from us, right? And we don't want any ambiguity on what value you get from Codium.
With Codium's recent 65 million fundraise on the Series B, what strategies do you guys implement to ensure the success?
I think if you're starting a company, like thinking about how much money you can get per round is probably the wrong mentality or the wrong
Mm-hmm.
priority, I should say, right? The
Okay.
first priority is making sure you build a product that everybody's going to want to use. If you were to give this product away for free, everybody would take it and they would use it. I think
Mm-hmm.
that's the number one hardest thing. If you don't
Right.
have that, right?
Definitely.
I mean, there's a lot of products out there in the AI market, but then if you and a lot of them are free actually, right? If you go live with that and then nobody's using it, there's a problem there with the product first.
Mm-hmm.
So I think
Mm-hmm.
number one is focus on building the best product that everybody will want to use.
Definitely.
Then when you start figuring out how to monetize that or how to go to market with that, that's
Mm-hmm.
where the VCs will take note, right? I think VCs in
Mm-hmm.
general will want to reach out to new AI companies and figure out what your business model is and what your plan is, what your strategy, what your traction.
Right.
And if you can show like there's a customer growth that's up and to the right, or there's like proof points of like customers saying this is
Mm-hmm.
a great experience or a
Mhm.
great product, or we're getting a lot of value, I think that will naturally bring those fundraisers. So in
Okay.
terms of like, how did you get $65 million? Honestly, we did not even think about that ever. We just focused
Alright.
on growing the company, growing the customers, building the right product, and then the money just
Mhm.
fell out of the sky into our lap. So
Out of
I mean, not
sky.
quite like that. But
Not
yeah,
quite that easy.
yeah.
Your team at Codium has been described as one of the most talented in Silicon Valley. Can you share what makes your team unique and how Codium fosters the culture of innovation to build the best coding AI assistant?
Yeah, I think the number one thing is like when we started, there was already some coding assistants in the market. And then the question is
Mhm,
like, what are they missing, right? Is it like performance? Can we improve the latency between suggestions as one example, right? And then
mhm.
over time, we thought like, hey, like what can we do to increase the quality of the suggestions, make sure like it's more accurate over time. So we run like many experiments. We A/B test different models. We A/B test different
Okay.
features. We do a lot of work that's like invisible to the
Mhm,
end user, and
mhm.
that informs us of how to keep gradually improving the product, like little by little by little. And the other side is we talk to a lot of enterprise customers. Like we
Oh,
deployed
yeah.
enterprise customers, but they also complain to us, hey, we wish we had this feature. And then
Mhm.
why would you need this? Oh, because it has this much value, right? And then we take that feedback and push it back into the product too. And I think
Oh,
having a great team is one part of it, right? Having a team that can
definitely.
deliver quickly and has good product sense, and obviously great engineering, skills and knowledge. Obviously, all
Mhm,
that matters a lot. But just being in front of a lot of customers and getting a lot of data points from our end users is probably the most impactful thing to shaping
mhm.
how the product ends up.
Okay. So as of right now, how many are in Codium now? Like, how many team members do you have
Oh,
there?
so I think we're about to hit 55 at the end of the month.
No
Um,
way!
when we start, so by the way, like last year, just to talk about the customers, the beginning of last year we had less than 1,000 users on the cloud product. I think
Mhm.
now we have like over 600,000,
Oh, wow.
and over 500 paying companies now. All and we don't even have a marketing team, which is a funny thing. Like it's
I
mostly word of mouth.
know.
Yeah.
That is amazing. Wow. I was wondering how is one's company, like allocating the resources as a startup? I know that you guys don't have marketing, but what is your strategies to grow the numbers that quickly?
Yeah, I mean, we don't have a marketing team, but I feel like everybody on the team has some capability to learn like how do you do a blog post? How do you do Google Ads? How do we appear on podcasts from time to time? Like just
Right.
doing things that are like, this is a good use of time. We spend 30 minutes here, and this is the number of users we might get. Or we roll out some ads here, and this is the number of user. This is the cost per user, per click, per sign up.
Mhm,
We do all those
mhm,
measurements, which is, I
mhm.
guess, what a marketing team would do.
Right,
And then we do
definitely.
things like going to conferences. Like we're starting to buy booths now. We're starting to present at other developer events. So
Mhm,
I guess we are spending more human capital on the marketing side now. But
mhm,
in terms of like figuring out what the best use of our time is, I think ultimately it's keeping the customers happy and making sure the cutting edge products. There's some stuff in the pipeline that we haven't announced yet. Have
mhm,
the appropriate amount of resources to continue going on.
mhm. I love to hear this because, a lot of company um, are struggling, trying to build a products and also trying to get their words, building their brands. And you guys were able to do that just within your developer teams. And now you guys are expanding with the marketing team and growing at a rapid rate, which is really incredible. And I just feel like our listener can, also use this strategy as well, and also probably for hiring, like when you guys are hiring your team members, are you guys trying to find somebody with like multi talents, like developer and also marketer and sales as well? Do you guys put that in a qualification or no?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the hard part of a startup, right, is there's a lot of
Hmm.
gaps in specialties, right? There's going to be
Yeah,
different functions that we're missing people in, and
right.
we need people who can easily adapt to fill those positions, even if it's like not on their previous job description.
Mhm.
And people are, we want to hire people that love to do that too. We want to hire people that
Yeah,
are like, yeah,
definitely.
like ex founders or ex startup people that really
Right.
want to have that hustle and be like, oh no, we need a function for this. That's all,
Yes.
I volunteer. I'm gonna go and do it.
Uh-huh.
And that is something that you really can't teach. You kind of need to see that in the hire, right? And then when you're looking for
Okay.
people, that is definitely part of the equation for us.
Okay, so you're more looking for like an entrepreneur spirit, that who had an experience in the past that like trying to start their own business, like building
Yeah,
their
yeah.
own products. Yeah,
That
so
that
that's
that that is definitely something we
the
target.
quality that you guys are
Yep.
looking for? Oh, wow. I didn't think of that, but definitely I always think that, when you're working for a startup, everybody is the CEO, right? If they're thinking like what can they bring into the business and how can we grow this company into getting us out there is hard. So we're not operating as a giant company where they have like each individual department working on like one certain task.
Yeah, I mean,
Awesome.
we're a fairly, flat org, meaning, like, everybody kinda knows what needs to get done, and
Mhm.
we don't really manage much. I think people just go and just do stuff that
Really?
needs to get done, yeah.
Oh,
Obviously,
wow.
our CEO highlights, like, "Here's our priorities," but then I think everybody just hears that
Just
and they're off to the
do their
races.
own thing
Yeah.
and just grow the company as if it's their own, so they take ownership of it. I
Yeah.
love it. Oh, wow. So yeah, so you position yourself quickly as an AI voice through Jeff Wang's Substack. Do I say it right? Yeah.
I started writing that for fun, and same with my, like, other newsletters. I just started a rant, and then people started to subscribe.
Yeah.
A lot more
Mhm.
subscribers on some of the other newsletters than the AI one, but, part of it was just to try to keep notes somewhere too. Like, if I'm experimenting with a
Okay.
new open source model, whether it's
Right.
like a image extension or whether it's a new llama model, and playing
Right.
with the capabilities, I wanted to at least note what my findings were somewhere,
Mhm.
and I didn't know where to put it, and I just said, "Okay, I'm just gonna create a Substack and put it
Oh
there."
no way! That's how you started. Oh
Yeah,
wow.
exactly.
But definitely, it put yourself in a position as a leader, right? In AI because of, the titles and the topics that you are sharing. I'm always impressed, when I read your Substack and I'm like, oh wow, he knows so much, right? So for those who are looking into the same, do you have the advice for them that like, if they are interested in something like start a Substack or start writing blogs. Do you have any advice on that?
I think
And
just
how does it
getting
help the career? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I think just being very curious is step one. If you have a fascination or passion on any topic, right?
Mhm.
For me, it's always emerging tech. I always have a passion of like, oh, what's the latest and greatest, and what's the newest technology that's coming out. And I think that has benefited me in the point that I can like really get hands on this latest tech and really understand how it works. I really
Mhm.
have a curiosity of like the foundation, like how is this built, how is this made, and then where's it going, right? And I think
Yes,
the where's it
definitely.
going part is very important, especially if you want to build a company or if you want to invest in startups or basically if you want to imagine a future and be part of it. You need that curiosity first.
Mhm. Mhm. So where do you feel like your Substack is going, your blog post? Or is it just still for your hobby?
Yeah, I honestly I've always just thought of it as a place to throw some notes. And
Okay.
I actually I don't even know how many. It's probably not even that many viewers. I really don't. I've really not thought about making the Substack anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mhm. Okay. Yeah, so definitely, I'm just super excited to have you on at one of my first podcasts just because we talked about this, like definitely just putting our stuff out there, writing something. And this is actually the reason why I do want to start my podcast as well, is just exploring AI and
Mhm.
also learning about like each industry as well. And so I'm just super honored to have you here today. And we're closing with what do you feel like the opportunities that anybody who can or who want to get into AI, especially with coding assistant? Do you feel like what are the opportunities that they can explore in this field?
I think one thing that people maybe make the mistake of is building towards a future that never comes. So there are some
Mhm.
startups that are building some technologies that are just too early, and it might
Definitely.
not be in their advantage to build
Mhm.
something that's too early and go to market, right?
Right.
On the flip side, going to market too early with like some older technology is the other kind of mistake you can make. And the
Mhm.
balance is going to be if you can go to market with a product that is leveraging the latest technology and has the building blocks to consume the next iteration of like LLMs or like
Mhm.
GPT-5
Mhm.
or anything that's upcoming, but you've built the building blocks in between. I think that would be my advice to anyone trying to build a startup, because
Mhm.
otherwise you're going to be obsolete or you're going to have a product that doesn't work well, right?
Mhm.
And both situations means death of the startup essentially.
Yeah, definitely. And the game of a startup is not easy. So
No, it's the hardest thing you could probably
it's the
do.
hardest
Yeah.
thing. Yeah. You put your
Other than
heart and
kids.
soul.
Other than
Yeah.
kids, it's the hardest thing.
And having kids, yeah, and having that balance. Do you have any advice on that as well?
Yeah, it's hard. You gotta make time for both, and I think, obviously, you cannot go 100% on both because then one of the other is gonna suffer, so you just have to find
Mhm.
what that balance is and
Balance. Mhm.
and make the decision in a way you wouldn't regret it, right? Both on both sides, right? You don't wanna regret
Mhm.
not spending time with your kids, and you don't wanna regret, kind of slacking off at a company and the company doesn't
Yeah,
reach its full potential,
definitely.
right?
Right. Mhm. Yeah, so it's like both are your babies.
Yes, I think that's a great way to summarize it.
All right. Thank you so much, Jeff, for being here today. And thank you, everybody, for tuning in.
Yeah,
All
thanks for
right.
having me.